11. April. 65. Dearest Suzie, I received a letter from you today and was glad to hear from you. I knew you would be a little disappointed about my not wanting you to go to Minnie's right now, but I'm glad that you understand why. I still haven't heard from them. We had another quiet day yesterday. We went to the range yesterday afternoon, and that was all. Last night, however, was another story. We had quite a few people in town, and somebody started a fight with the Vietnamese Marine. He went out and got some of his friends, and they all came back and shot up a few of the bars. We had one man stabbed and one other beat up. It was just plain luck that no one was shot and killed. It is a shame that we have to go out and get shot at by the VC, then when we get a chance to go to town, we have to worry about being shot by the very people we are over here to support. I missed all that excitement, I'm glad to say. Now, town is off limits and no telling how long it will be. Today I set up a folding cot and laid out in the sun for a couple of hours. A few days of that in this hot sun and I should have a good tan. I'm enclosing a newspaper from here. It gives the names of 3 of the men we lost. They still haven't found any proof that the 4th one, Lieutenant Tucker, is dead, so they can't say that he is, but we all know that he's dead. The tragedy is that his family has probably been told that he is missing, so they will still be hoping when there is no hope. How about asking the old man if he knows any Bowmans from McRae? I just thought that he may know the one man's family. Charlie's getting along fine. The rabies scare is over, so he's running loose again. So far, he has not been in any hooches this time. Maybe he has learned his lesson. Well, tell the boys that I miss them, and yes, Brian is my boy. Love you very much, and although this is getting repetitions, I miss you so much. I see that the airline strike is over, so maybe the mail problem will get better. All my love. Bill. In today's letter, Popi writes from a base that's starting to feel the weight of too many quiet days, followed by sudden, senseless violence. It's not a letter filled with battlefield drama or big revelations, but instead it's something quieter, and in many ways, more unsettling. He opens, as he so often does, with home, a follow-up to a previous conversation with Meemaw about why he didn't want her to travel to visit family. He thanks her for understanding, though he still hasn't heard from them himself. But quickly, the letter turns from the personal to the chaotic. Last night, he writes, was another story. A fight broke out between some American troops and a Vietnamese Marine in town. What started as a barroom scuffle escalated quickly. The Marine left, returned with friends, and they came back with weapons. Several bars were shot up, one American was stabbed, another beaten. Poppy wasn't there. He says he's glad he missed it, but he's shaken by the fact that the very people the Americans are in Vietnam to support had turned their weapons on them in a moment of anger. He has a haunting line. It is a shame that we have to go out and get shot at by the VC. Then when we get a chance to go to town, we have to worry about being shot by the very people we are over here to support. It's a line that reveals a lot about the emotional toll the war has been taking, not just in terms of fear or violence, but in trust. What happens when resentment festers on both sides of a supposed partnership? This wasn't an isolated event. There were growing tensions between U.S. troops and South Vietnamese civilians and soldiers throughout the war, cultural misunderstandings, abuses of power, and the strain of occupation. For American soldiers like Poppy, who already had to navigate the dangers of combat, those tensions could explode unexpectedly, even on an off night. The rest of the letter is quiet. He talks about sunbathing on a cot, trying to work on his tan in the relentless heat. He mentions Charlie, who's finally off rabies watch and for now staying out of trouble. And he sends home a copy of a paper listing the names of 3 men who were recently killed. One man's body, Lieutenant Tucker, still hasn't been found, and because of that, he isn't officially considered dead. The tragedy, Poppy writes, is that his family has probably been told that he is missing, so they will still be hoping when there is no hope. That line hits hard. It's one of the most emotionally honest things he's written so far. He doesn't try to soften it, doesn't pretend that hope is always a good thing. In this case, it feels like cruelty, a delay of grief, a false sense of possibility that he knows doesn't exist. This letter isn't even about combat. It's about the breakdown of trust in allies, in systems, and maybe even in the ability of the war to ever make sense. It's about the moments of violence that aren't part of a battle but still leave scars. And for just a second, Poppy lets us see how exhausting it all is. The photo I chose for today is the sign welcoming people into Vinh Long. It is in Vietnamese, English, and French. By the sounds of this letter, They weren't always welcome in Vin Long. I'm Alex Lowy, and I hope you have enjoyed listening to this episode of Dearest Suzie and receiving messages from the past that my Popi wrote exactly 60 years ago. I sincerely appreciate your time and interest. Please consider following the podcast on your preferred platform, and if you're enjoying it, I kindly ask that you take the time to rate the show and leave a review. Also, please follow the project on YouTube, X, and Instagram. All likes, comments, shares, and reviews will help grow the reach of this story. The links for these things should be in the description of this episode. Please feel free to email me at dearestsuziepodcast@gmail.com if you have anything you'd like to say. I'd love to chat or to hear about your stories as well. Thank you for listening, and God bless.